tell you what you could grow on your farm, how to grow it, but could they tell you how to grow your garden? Really? No big deal, or yet another sign the government really doesn't know its boundaries. A number of food safety bills are circulating in Congress now, and I've been getting a lot of phone calls on these to my radio program. This happened after the peanut scare. One of them threatens to wipe out small farmers, and you could even be in trouble for growing a tomato in your backyard. That's what some people are saying. It's the Food Safety Monetization Act. With me now is Tim Whiteman. He owns a small dairy farm in Ohio. Also, Debbie Stockton. She's with the National Independent Consumers and Farmers Association. Debbie, let me start with you. People are calling me up left and right and saying this thing is a nightmare for anybody with a farm, even a garden down the road. Is any of that true?
Yeah, sure, it's absolutely true. The way the bill is written, it has very broad language, and it says that a food production facility shall be considered to be every farm, ranch, orchard, aquacultural facility, vineyard, or confined animal feeding operation. Well, what the bill does not exclude explicitly, it includes implicitly. It does not define farm. It doesn't say a farm is this, that, or the other. It simply says every farm. Well, okay. A farm can be construed. Go ahead.
Well, hang on, Debbie. I mean, my grandfather had a berry farm. My uncle still lives on the same street, and he still has a farm, and it's only a few acres, and he grows corn and everything else, but he shares the corn with his neighbors and everything else. That could be regulated now?
Absolutely. And just if they say, well, it's not our intent, that's absolutely meaningless, because intent has no bearing on what is actually the language in the law. And like I said, if it does not explicitly exclude something, then it's implicitly included.
Okay, let me go to Tim. So, Tim, you're a farmer. You're actually a dairy farmer, right?
Correct.
Okay, big dairy farm, little dairy farm, couple of cows,
no,
couple
little
of
dairy farm.
Little dairy farm. And do you
6 cows.
6 cows. So this is all by hand. You're doing right? I mean, I assume you.
No.
You got machines
I got
to do it for just
well.
6, huh? Wow. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So now, do you sell the milk?
Actually, I sell the cows, and the people pay me to do the work. It's called a herd share program here in Ohio.
So how is this going to hurt? How is this going to hurt you?
As is most foods in these new bills, everything is considered hazardous. Raw milk's always been vilified for a long time, so now I'll be producing a hazardous product, and if I don't follow the rules the way the government says I should follow the rules, they can shut me down.
So what is
Kill my cows, take them away.
What is this going to, well, they wouldn't kill your cows because a lot of the people in the administration now are PETA lovers, and so they'll free your cows. They'll open up the gates and go, you're free now, go back to the jungles or wherever it is you cows came from. What is this going to do, I guess, Debbie, what is this going to do to, let's say, the price of milk?
Well, if they do, as you say, which they have every authority to do, it could drive the price of milk way high.
Well, wait. Why wouldn't they do it? Why are they passing this law if they're not going to do some of these things?
Oh, they will. They're just not going to do all of them all at once. I mean, what they're going to say is, oh, this isn't going to affect the small farmer. This is for areas where we feel that there is a genuine food safety hazard. And they're not going to go after small farmers right away, but they will eventually.
Okay.
And it will simply put small farmers out of business.
Now, do either of you know, there's like all kinds of paperwork going with it too. Like if I go and buy groceries from vegetables from a farmer, I'm supposed to fill out paperwork, right? And say I bought a carrot and some strawberries, and here's my information in case something goes wrong.
Yeah, and what's that supposed to accomplish?
Go ahead, Tim, you start.
Well, what they want is, they want total traceability, which in our local food markets, they have the barcode, so they can trace that right back to the production facility, even farther back if they want to. What they want is total traceability, which means if I take my products to a farmer's market, you, Mr. Beck, will have to fill out a form telling me what you bought and when you plan to consume it, so I can keep it on record. If something should happen and they trace it back to the farmer's market, they can call you and say, don't eat that stuff because it may get you sick.
Hey, Tim, I grew up on the summers I spent on my grandfather's farm. We used to walk around with just an evil shotgun that he used to have open the whole time. We'd walk around and Yes, and he would once in a while shoot a bird. So I still have a little bit of common sense in me. If you said to me, Mr. Beck, you got to fill out this paperwork and tell me when you're going to consume it so I can keep it on record, you know what I'd say to you? None of your damn business. I mean,
exactly.
Debbie, what happens to us if I don't want to fill out the form, or if the farmer says he's not going to fill out the form?
Well, good question, and that is going to happen. I mean, I can pretty much guarantee it, because you're talking about hundreds of thousands of farmers. I mean, small farms are the fastest growing economic sector in the country. They're growing by an order of about 10,000 a year. And they are simply not going to allow this to happen, for the federal government to come onto their property and tell them what they can and cannot do.
I have to tell you, we are so incredibly stupid right now. We are doing everything. And, you know, who's going to you guys tell me if I'm wrong. Who's going to benefit from this? Big Farm.
Oh, the major corporations. That's
absolutely.
right.
No, major corporations.
That's all this is a vehicle. That's exactly what this is. This is a vehicle for increasing markets for the large corporations in industrial agriculture.
It really
That's
amazes
exactly
me for the party of the little people, how, and Bush started it, don't get me wrong, he started all kinds of stuff, how we are only saving those too big to fail. We don't care anymore, it seems, about the little people.